Okay, and I'm going to allow these students to done. Thank you, hon. Good morning. Just letting everybody clock in real quick. Let's see. Give y'all just 1 second. How are we doing, everybody? I'm going to shut this door real quick, so hold on. There we go. Boy, do I look busy right now with this outfit and this background. Are y'all all waking up? I know it's kind of tough this morning to kind of wake up and get the ball rolling. It feels like it should be Friday by now. I'm so tired, but I'm not trying to demotivate y'all. But wow, yesterday was so hot, and I think that's why I was so exhausted. But this morning, waking up to the nice, cool weather was amazing. I woke up, went to take the dogs outside, and I was like, wow, it's so nice this morning. So, so nice. And that was refreshing. So hopefully we get a little bit of a break from this weather being so humid yesterday. My days are very messed up too. I've been very confused. Yes, feels so, so nice. Y'all all hanging in there? Your job's going okay? Your families are okay? And Sam, if you're able to hear me, I want to make sure that that kit is sitting over there at the North School for you. I will be there tomorrow. I'm going to go to the North School tomorrow and Friday. So, oh, Lauren, the air conditioning is broken. Oh no. Well, I will tell you, good thing we got a little cool front. It'll help a little bit. But these past couple of days, I don't know. The heat was just unbearable. Monday, I think, was horrible. If you need someone to look at it, you could always call Galaxy Air Conditioning. They are the ones who service us. Oh, yeah. The pool, yes. Looks like we have about 15 people on. Okay, we're up to 18 now. Looking good. Looking good. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Stephanie. Hey. Oh, good. So anyone else that's online, I sent out a message. I hope that some of you received it. If you didn't, want to make sure that you got the message. Anyone who wants to do hair cutting at the north location, we're going to start that on Tuesday. I need to make sure that I have the proper supplies and kit materials for you. If you have been a past student who has gone past the beginning and you want to retake it or come in and join us, Reagan, I will check and let you know at the 12 o'clock hour. I'll make myself a note right now. I always make myself a little notes when I talk to y'all. And let's see. Oh, audio's freaking out. I'll wait and for the live chat to come up. It's always a little bit of a delay, and we'll see if. Oh, okay. Might be you, Mary Helen. Not sure. Okay, so we are going to go. We are going to go on with some cosmetic ingredients. Y'all been going through chemistry a little bit, and we're now at hump day, and some of these ingredients are ingredients that you really truly need to know for the state board. I know during bacteriology you learned one, and that's sodium hypochlorite. I know that's a state board question. That is the term for bleach. So I want to go ahead and talk about different cosmetic chemicals. So the first one I just want you to write down is your EPA. Your EPA disinfectant. I'm going to type this in the chat in case. What you need to remember on a chemical surface, I mean, for chemical cosmetics such as your EPA, just remember your EPA is a disinfectant, and we're not going to really use that EPA on our hands. It is meant for work surfaces. It is meant for chairs. It can be poured into your laundry along with your laundry powder to act as a disinfectant. And oh, okay, Emily, that's fine. And we're just taking notes on this. You can go back and do it. You're not turning these notes in. You're just writing them down in that notebook and you're compiling them. So when you come back to the building, we can do a notebook check. So EPA disinfectant, again, just keep in mind that that is a chemical. And I do want to mention to you something on the EPA. I'll put it in the chat. Some EPAs, and forgive my typing if I can't really see real good. Some EPAs cannot be poured down the drain. You want to make sure that you are following the Environmental Protection Agency and that you're making sure that these EPAs are EPAs that are pourable down the drain, okay? So make sure that you are sticking to one that is not hazardous for our land and to soak into our soils and damage our world, our earth, okay? Now let me tell you about EPA. When you go to state board, the EPA solutions, sometimes the state board person will say, please don't disinfect your mirrors and wipe the mirror down. And the reason for that is the drying time on the EPA is so lacking. It drags and it takes forever, and they fog up the mirrors and they make the mirrors a mess. That's because the evaporation time on an EPA, because it's supposed to sit on a surface for up to for a little longer period of time, up to 10 minutes, to really kill, not retard, but kill bacteria. So that EPA solution should not be applied to mirrors, and because the drying time is forever, and you'll be rubbing you'll have a lot of elbow power going. So you want to refrain from wiping down the mirror. So that proctor is going to say, clean up your work area with your EPA disinfectant. All disinfectants should be labeled. The EPA should be labeled so that people know that that is not a water bottle or some other type of bottle. But they can be used for floors, bathrooms. They can be used for your work surfaces, your tools. They shouldn't be used for prolonged period of times on hands. Our mirrors. Now, those of you who don't know, some of the cheaper thing in the salons, when you get some of the more economical and cheaper products that you're going to use on your mirrors are going to be your Windex, your vinegar, and alcohol. These evaporate really fast. The evaporation time is fast. I think Windex sometimes has some conditioners in them that slow down that evaporation. I really like vinegar and alcohol. How many of y'all like to wipe? Right before Thanksgiving, I cleaned all of my windows before I had guests over, and with vinegar. I get a great big gallon of it and some paper towels, and wow, it just does so good. So vinegar is a really great fast evaporation time along with alcohol. So that works really good. Those of you in the esthetician field or anybody who cares about their skin, sometimes I know we talk about this in some of the other chapters, but remember, alcohol is not really a great thing to be putting on your skin to dry up your oil. So refrain from doing that. It does cause damage to the skin, and you can do some additional reading of alcohol and some of the negative aspects of putting alcohol on your skin to dry up and reduce your oil. No streaks with vinegar. Exactly. Now, another thing that y'all need to know is that antiseptic, number 3, antiseptic is different from a disinfectant. So in our skincare department or in our nail department, and then sometimes, but primarily coming into contact with the skin and prepping the skin, antiseptics reduce the microbes, so they actually retard the growth. So I'm going to underline that, reduces microbes, where the EPA is killing the microbes. So the antiseptic is going to be used before you wax. You might want to swab and clean the affected area first with your antiseptic solution, and then that preps that skin, and it's going to help retard the growth or reduce the growth of germs, but it's not going to kill them. Okay, so the difference between an antiseptic and a disinfectant: antiseptic retards the growth of germs or microbes, and then your EPA is going to kill the. Sorry, obviously I need some coffee. More coffee. Okay, so number 4, you are going to hear the word styptic. So a styptic, that's STYPTIC. A styptic product is, I'm going to write this in the chat. A styptic product is also known as alum powder, and this stops bleeding. Now, I do believe at this moment, these are not allowed in Texas. We would have to follow up in our book to see if that has changed. A lot of times people would put this little powder on like a nick on the cuticles, or tweezing brows where maybe you cut someone a little bit on the ear or nick them or something on their neck when you're cleaning up on the neck. But they are called styptics. And a question that you might have is what does alum powder or a styptic do? And basically what those do, just so you know, is it stops the bleeding. It stops the bleeding. But again, I would be cautious in taking that product in until you do some research to see if it's allowed in Texas. but it could be and probably will be a state board question. We're going over a bunch of different products that we use in the building that you will, some of these terms are definitely on your state written exam, and that's why we go through them. Number 5, we have the cuticle remover. So I want to let you have a minute to just jot that down, and then I'll talk. Cuticle removers contain low percentage of sodium hydroxide. Cuticle removers contain low percentage of sodium hydroxide. So, sodium hydroxide, cosmetologist, you'll be learning that sodium hydroxide, state board is going to call this term, call this ingredient caustic. You need to be familiar with the word caustic. Sodium hydroxide. So in cuticle removers now, they're doing very good jobs. You can buy these at the supply houses that we go to. These cuticle removers, for those of you at home that have a lot of cuticle like I do on toes or fingers, there's a low percentage of sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide caustic has a pH of anywhere from a 10 to a 14. What they're saying in these cuticle what products have now done is they have put this sodium hydroxide, low percentage of it, in your cuticle remover. And when you let it sit there on your cuticle, it starts to eat away at dead tissue. Around your nail. And so that's going to make that removal and really frame that nail plate around the bottom. So when you polish, it looks really good, and it cuts down on having to do your nipping. So you can use your metal pusher or your orange wood stick. You can really push back the cuticle around there. So even for my estheticians and my cosmetologists who may or may not do manicures, just keeping your own home maintenance with this product. If you're at the supply house, you might want to get a nice little cuticle remover. And then if your clients are asking you, my hands are just so dry and my cuticles are so dry, even as a skin care student, you might want to say, well, at the front desk, we sell and we retail. So you might want to even retail this product, some of these products that you can get that we can get on the market that are really not going to be found at your Sally's or your Walmarts and Targets. So these cuticle removers have some sodium hydroxide in it with a larger or higher pH of a base, which is going to go in there and help just dissolve, so to speak, kind of like that Nair product. And if you do a little research on Nair is one of the worst chemicals that can seep into your skin. You can do your own so if you have clients saying, I hate shaving and I don't want to laser hair removal, it's too expensive, I'll just use these chemical depilatories. I'm going to write that down, chemical, and our estheticians will be learning that in those notes in school when y'all go through the waxing chapter. Yes, terrible stuff. So don't use these liquid chemical depilatories on the skin, because what the skin is absorbing is very caustic. So avoid the chemical ones like Nair. Even though it sounds attractive, just let it sit on your legs and just dissolve away. It's just not good. Another term, if you are selling products such as nail polish is often called a lacquer or an enamel. So nail polish, enamel, or lacquer. So on your test for your written exam, you want to know what a lacquer is, because they're going to call it that. Enamel or lacquer equals nail polish. And a seal coat is an ingredient, is another term for our top clear coat, just so you know. So lacquer, seal coats. Seal, S-E-A-L, seal coat is also known as another term for a top coat. But again, just the word lacquer. So if your menu of services on the salon say we do lacquer services, and you or one of your clients happens to say, what does the menu mean by a lacquer service? What's a lacquer service? Lacquer is your term for a nail polish that you might retail in the salon. Okay. Sometimes we hear this word lubricant. So a lubricant is a hand lotion. Okay. Holding this paper so low, I look like I'm naked. A lubricant is a hand lotion. So sometimes people at State Board will use this word lubricant, and you're like, gosh, we've got moisturizer, we got lubricant. A lot of times what they're primarily referring to is a hand lotion. Now, all students, estheticians, when you're when you are allowing a mask or a treatment on the face, it's advantageous to you to offer a hand massage, one that that would be quality of what our nail technicians are doing. Those hand massages are just fantastic. Now, a lubricant is just going to be your basic little hand lotion. But if you wanted to, you could use like a carrier oil. We'll be talking about aromatherapy, and you can use a carrier oil, which is going to be a nice oil without a scent. Sometimes not having a fragrance in there is very appealing, because then you can have all of your aromatherapy. So nail technicians, cosmetologists, estheticians, you can make your own oil for hand massage. It doesn't have to be a lubricant. It can be an oil. And when I have gone to the nail salon, that's what the lady does for me. She just has a vial of oil, and she might pepper in some different aromatherapy, and then she massages my hands with the oil instead of a lotion. And you can get oil, if you go to massage therapy places, they have it in great big carrier oils, like in a great big gallon. And just make sure that you need to be using that product in a large gallon, so it doesn't get rancid. I'm gonna type the word rancid. Rancid just means the shelf life is going to be really smelly. So if you're not using that oil, don't buy the gallon. Get more of like a quart size, because but it'll spread and it'll keep your slip going, so that you can massage the arm, the hand, the foot, and then follow it up with a warm towel to make that client just feel so nice. And then pepper in those aromatherapy oils inside that carrier oil. So the difference in a lubricant and a carrier oil is one's going to have more oily, and one's going to be more like hydrating and go into the skin like your lubricant. The lubricant's going to make them feel like it's real heavy on there. The towel doesn't absorb the water too much. It kind of bubbles or retards it. It's like mixing oil and water together. It doesn't really work good. So you could, those are two types of that you could do. So oil or cream is considered a moisturizer. So a lubricant is lotion, oil or cream is moisturizer. There's not a lot of difference in that, and it's extremely subjective. So y'all just have to take it for whatever it's worth and just smile and keep going. Oil and cream is considered a moisturizer, where our lubricants are more of our hand lotions. If you were going to be a shampoo technician, or be working as an intern as a hairstylist, and you are doing shampoo after shampoo after shampoo, your hands are really going to probably need to be iced in the evenings to offset all of that strenuous. You're going to have some sore hands from all the shampooing. If that's what you're doing. Back in the day, we had a lot of people who were shampoo techs, and they did very well. They made $75 a day plus tips, and they did very well, but they did have cracked skin. Hand lubricants were, there was a thing called Dermaguard, and you put on this hand lotion, and they do make products like this. You put on this hand lubricant, and it would retard water from getting into the skin. And it was like a glove that you sort of put on your hand, but it was a lubricant, and it would repel water and help the dry, cracking hands. Now, those of you who might have some natural nails right now, mine are natural. I haven't had natural for a while since COVID, but sometimes you might see your grandmother or your mother or your aunt or a good friend or something, especially as age sets in. The nail color, the nail plate itself can be really dull or yellowing, and so people often use nail lighteners. So a nail lightener, also known as a nail bleach. And you can tell your client if they're like, hey, do you have anything for me to, like, my nails are so yellow. Well, you can mix hydrogen peroxide with water. The ratio really doesn't matter because hydrogen peroxide is not dangerous or anything. But in the brown bottle, the hydrogen peroxide in the brown bottle. Now, when I was in beauty school, we would mix 10 volume developer with water. And then we would just get a cotton tipped orangewood stick and just brighten the nail plate up underneath the bottom because it's penetrating from the underside. But then you can swab it on top. Yeah, smokers do need that. So nail lighteners contain hydrogen peroxide. That's what you would want to write down your paper, is that nail lighteners contain hydrogen peroxide. Okay. Household bleach. This is one that we discuss in bacteriology, but I'm going to reiterate it and add it to some of these different terms of products that we use in our industry, so that all of you can be industry related. Some of you may go on to be salon owners. You'll be working with estheticians. You'll be working with nail technicians. You'll be working with hairstylists. And it's just really good for you to kind of have a full belly full of all the different products that are used in and out of our industry. And there's so many. But household bleach is called sodium hypochlorite. I promise you this question is on your test. So you might as well start drinking it and learning it and getting it to stick in your mind. All right. Now, sometimes you might walk up to a friend who's a nail tech and she might say, hey, could you hand me my resin? So resin is another term for glue. So you don't want to appear like you don't know what your brothers and sisters in your industry in the salon are all needing. You might be in charge of ordering supplies, and you might need to tell somebody, because you work with nail care, you might say, hey, I need some more resin. Can somebody order me some? All of these things are important products that we're using in and out of our industry together. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce this next one. It's kind of long, but it's we'll be going over a few ingredients that are in the back of a labeling or a product, and those terms are so big. They are very intimidating, and it takes an enormous amount of time to know how to tell a client. We have some clients in our industry, if there's anybody out there who can verify for me, that they will say, well, what is that ingredient? What is that ingredient? Is that harmful? I did some reading on that ingredient. I'm kind of worried about what you're using on me, and they will ask and they will be curious. So on each of your products, if you don't want to try to memorize all these products, all these different terms and explain it, you might choose like a chemical peel that's a lunchtime chemical peel that you're using, or a foot scrub, or a foot alpha hydroxy AHA that you want to slough off dead skin cells with or something. You might, the cuticle lotions that has sodium hydroxide in it. you might want to have a small little card that kind of tells the client what that ingredient is for, so that you don't really have to go in and explain that, because it's a lot of memorization. You'd almost have to be a physician. So I'm just going to hold this paper up. Here's one ingredient right here. I call it the DEA. I'm going to hold this up just for a few minutes for y'all to read it. This product functions as an emulsifier or a foaming agent in cosmetics. I'm going to see if my paper's up high enough. There we go. So I know I've seen this chemical term on the back of a lot of different products before that are industry related. Hope that was enough time. Now, the next thing is a paraben. So I'm going to put it in the chat box, Parabens. Parabens equal preservatives. Now, a lot of times we hear that word preservative and we're like, what does that mean? So basically a preservative is going to prevent the product. It prevents the product from molding, aging. It keeps the shelf life longer. And I will tell you that there are a lot of people that want a preservative-free, paraben-free, so to speak, product. They want it to be completely natural without these agents in them that keep the shelf life better. Because if a product is aging, some people believe that a product is aging, that means it's old. Don't get it near me. You just put this little additive in there to keep it lasting longer. So it's basically, let's see, did I miss 13? Maybe I did, honey. Let me check. Oh, yeah, I missed 13. Hold on. I'll give it right to y'all in 1 second. I'm so sorry. So the parabens and the preservatives, they're going to prevent the growth of harmful bacteria. Sorry, ladies. So parabens, if they're going to prevent harmful growth of the bacteria, well, I don't know. That it's great because we got longer shelf life. It's going to keep that product becoming yucky, but you see the subjectiveness and the different varying opinions on that. So I wanted you to know that a paraben is a preservative that is going to prevent the growth of harmful bacteria. Okay. For example, I have a friend, she makes us hot sauce all the time. And she puts it in she stays home and she puts it she makes salsa. It's in a great big container about this big. It's got one of those lids on it. And it's so good. But she always tells us, I put no preservatives in it. So that means don't keep eating it past like a week. Does that make sense? So if she has a preservative in it, that means that jar could probably sit in the fridge and we could eat it over a month's time. But so when we do have that, we have to put it on our eggs and have it and put it on enchiladas that I might make at home or whatever it is that we want to put it on top of. So super good. Now let me go back to number 13 that I missed. Number 13 is latex. And the problem with latex is one thing. It is very, very toxic. It is very, very toxic. And 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 it some people are allergic to latex. All right. Me too, Lauren. We go through our girlfriend's hot sauce that she makes us very fast. But we like a lot of heat, especially Randy. He has to put jalapenos on his eggs. He has to have jalapenos on every single burger that he eats, everything. So we like the heat. So let's talk about latex for just a second. Anytime you see latex, I'm gonna make sure I get these papers right. Anytime you see latex in a product, there is going to be some concern. So don't oh, you are too, Alexis. So don't take that lightly. You need latex-free gloves if those bother your hands. When my son was little, I would put a Band-Aid on him, and he would get an allergic reaction around the Band-Aid for a little while when we would pull it off. And so for the longest, he's like, Mom, remember, I can't wear latex gloves because I'm allergic. Well, it would just get a little bit pink and a little bit red wherever, you know, the Band-Aid was. So make sure that you look at those latex, and just remember, if you see that on a test, latex equals allergic reactions from some people. Now, remember yesterday, Sherry mentioned to y'all the update on state board. You need to wear gloves through the entire practical exam, which means hand gel, sanitize those gloved hands, etc. So if you are allergic to latex, then you're going to need to go out and find yourself some good latex gloves. Now, remember, they make good latex surgical gloves that would fit your hand really tight without all this bagginess. So I personally would go and either order on Amazon or find yourself some kind of really good latex surgical gloves where they fit really tight, so you don't have these baggy things on your hands that are too large, and they'll just vacuum to your hands. So that's a suggestion I want to give you all. Okay, we went over paraben. Okay. I'm not going to pronounce this word, but I want you to go ahead and just write this down right here. This term, PHTALATES. So especially nail technicians, you're going to see this ingredient in nail lacquers. Okay. It's a plasticizer used in so many things like plastics that we have industrial related plastics. But it's going to help the nail color from cracking because it's a plasticizer. And it's also found in hairsprays. So in hairsprays, ladies, whether you're using hairspray on yourself or you're retailing it, maybe you're the receptionist at the front desk and someone is asking you about a hairspray. Well, there's different types of hairsprays. There's a working hairspray and a firm holding hairspray. So the firm holding hairsprays are going to have more of this ingredient in it. And then the working hairsprays mean if you didn't style it right and you already sprayed it, it's not going to ruin your curl or your hairstyle. You can break it down and restyle that without having to reapply your heat to it. So working hairsprays and really firm hairsprays have a difference in the amount of this ingredient that's in them. In the 80s, of course, everyone wanted firm holding hairspray. That's why so many people used Aquanet. And now, recently, a lot of people do prefer a working hairspray. It's a softer hold. So that's that. I'm going to save number 17 for a minute, and we're going to skip that one and go to the word hypoallergenic. Hypoallergenic. These are products that claim to have fewer allergic reactions from the ingredients that they're using. So you can put hypoallergenic definition of really whatever you want to write. It doesn't have to be exactly what I've written down, but they have claims. Now, I want to tell you that these hypoallergenic products, they can claim and say whatever they want to say on the labeling, but doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be completely allergic free with this particular product. There still may be an ingredient in this hypoallergenic product that still may cause you to have an allergy. So hypoallergenic are claims that the product does not have ingredients that can cause allergic reactions. Now, doesn't that sound nice? Let's say I make a product right now and someone wants natural products that are hypoallergenic. Well, most of the consumers are not even going out there and reading all those different ingredients and realizing that one, two, or many of the ingredients in that so-called hypoallergenic product actually have ingredients that can affect someone being allergic. So it's a great marketing ploy, so to speak. So anyway, be careful with that word in other words. So hypoallergenic. Now, very important, especially when you're buying bottles, to put acetone in. So acetone, I'm gonna try to read backwards, is a strong nail lacquer product to help dissolve. That's also found in nail polish removers. Now I want to talk about acetone for just a second. Those of you who buy bottles who want to put this on your tabletop, your nail top, some of the bottles that you use that are rubber, they may be a thin rubber or a really nice soft rubber that have a nice squeeze belly to it where it feels soft. You'll wake up one day and you'll pour this acetone from your gallon with your funnel into your little bottle, and that bottom is going to eat out, and it's going to eventually ruin the bottle, and you'll walk in and that acetone, that bottle will just fall out. In other words, it eats it and then it becomes a drippy mess. So if you're going to store acetone, if you're going to purchase, let's say you're the salon owner and you're purchasing acetone and you instruct all of your employees to go and fill up small bottles because it's more economical to buy a gallon of this. Well, then you need to have bottles that are hard rubber material, squeeze bottles with a little squirt top that are real tough ones, because it will disintegrate the bottle. Permanent wave lotion bottles are really hard, and those bottles are made of a hard substance, and so those bottles can actually withstand the acetone in the bottle. Now, acetone has a very, very pungent odor. The pH is going to be extremely high because it has the ability to dissolve acrylic nails off of someone's melted styrofoam heads with acetone. Wow. So pH is very caustic in nature, and it's going to really cause that cause a lot of damage, to. But it's hitting it's not hitting the natural now. But polish removers in general, polish removers, they have a small percentage of acetone. So estheticians who may not know this, maybe you've never worn acrylics before. Pure acetone, when we put the word pure in it, where it's solid acetone in a bottle, you cannot put that on an acrylic nail to change the nail color, because the acrylic nail will get gummy and you'll have to redo the nail. So pure acetone is only for dissolving and removal of the acrylic nails or soaking them. Yes, it's so strong. Lanolin. Estheticians, especially nail technicians, maybe, lanolin is an emollient made from sheep. It's very, very good. It's a deep, nice emollient. So I'm going to let y'all jot that one down. Okay, next one. Sometimes in our foot scrubs, or let's say our clay masks for the feet, or maybe even some really nice masks for the face, you may see a product in there, and you're going to be, oh my gosh! You may say, algae, really? Well, algae is really good. It's a nice emollient. It has a lot of antioxidants in it, and it's made from a plant extract. So I don't want you to see the word algae and go, yuck, because there are some nice foot masks that might have it, seaweed type of products that you go to luxury spas where they may have a very, very nice line of an algae ingredient that's in there, and it's wonderful. Can't we? We ought to just all bathe in and get a whole body treatment from neck down. Wouldn't that just be amazing? So algae is actually plant extract. It's an emollient and has antioxidants that fight uh, disease and all that stuff. So, okay, I'm going to abbreviate alpha hydroxy acid. These are called AHA. Okay, the AHAs. These are the chemical peels. And they act as exfoliants to remove the topical layer. So if you were to hear a client and you're at the front desk and you're just, and a client just walking past in maybe your spa or your, who has been, in the salon for a long time, you don't want to ignore the fact that there's something called an AHA or an alpha hydroxy. And if a client were to call and you pick up the phone and they say, do y'all offer any alpha hydroxy acid peels? Then you would be able to understand that they want to exfoliate and remove all those dead surface skins with a chemical peel. Now, keep in mind, salons without a physician on site, the chemical peel is not as strong as what you would get at a dermatologist's office. Dermatologist's office, it's going to like really burn those layers much, much deeper. So you're going to get kind of I don't want to say superficial because they're nice, but you're going to get a nice little exfoliant from your salon. Let me see if y'all have any comments. Oh, yeah, Stephanie. Now, another thing that we've seen a lot on is this term, which is called argon oil. And these are kernels from a plant that have great emollient quality and antioxidants. Again, because it's coming from a plant and from a tree, argon oil. So that's a term that a lot of people hear. You'll hear Moroccan oil and argon. So if you're at the front desk and you happen to be talking to a client and they say, do y'all have any of those? My hair's just been really so dry. I need some argon oil, some of our nail products. Sometimes you'll see argon oil in some of your massage lotions. And this way you'll know, oh, this is good. It's an emollient and it's an antioxidant. It's fantastic. Am I going too fast? Now, another term that you may see is ascorbic acid. This has this you'll find on the labeling of a lot of different products, and it has a vitamin C quality to it. It's a form of vitamin C, ascorbic acid. So, Christy, that argan oil is good, right? The only problem with argan oil, it's very important that you don't overuse too. So you want to keep a natural pH balance. So too much emollient, so you probably had to stop at one point, I'm assuming. So ascorbic acid is a form of vitamin C. Then we have benzoyl peroxide. So those of you who have maybe teenage brothers or teenage sons or daughters who are going through a lot of acne, and during those teenage years when it can really be overactive. The sebaceous glands can be overactive. Benzoyl peroxide, if you're in the store and you are looking at different products, you would want to see and notice that this product right here would be excellent for an over-the-counter. Maybe you can't afford to go to the dermatologist, or maybe the acne is not quite so severe at this point where you don't need to go to the dermatologist. You could fight some of that with a benzoyl peroxide. So estheticians, y'all might want to see if that's even in any of your ingredients, but probably is not, because it's primarily listed as an over-the-counter acne treatment ingredient. But don't be afraid of it. It's good. We don't want alcohol in there. We want benzoyl peroxide. So those of you who have little ones at home, whatever course you're in, it's just a great over-the-counter suggestion. Boric acid. So it has restoration and soothing qualities. So, you know, when you read the word boric acid, you think, oh my gosh, that's got to be terrible. So you don't want to be ignorant to the fact that boric acid, this word acid, this is a good quality of the pH scale, acid below 7. So boric acid is a preservative having soothing and restoring qualities and properties to it. So don't be scared when you see the word boric acid. Nail technicians or anyone who is looking at a nail color, you know, I have a salon right now that only wants, they want their salon to be completely a natural salon. So let's say you are a cosmetologist or an esthetician and you don't want any harsh smells in your salon, and you're going to hire a nail technician to rent a space. You would have to look at different products here in your nail polish removers. So this is going to be another chemical besides acetone that you might see in your nail polish ingredient list that you can research. Did I hold that too long? I mean, too short? I'll put the term butyl. I spelled it wrong. Yeah, no, I didn't. Acetate. Okay. Okay, 2 more. If you see the word ceramide, this is a replenishing benefit, a skin replenishing benefit. So in your hand lotions, leg lotions, skincare products, a ceramide is a good thing. Don't think of it as being a horrible thing. It's a good thing. Estheticians, you're going to see this term on your state board, I'm almost certain. So it's a replenishing benefit. And then colloidal oatmeal. Sometimes you'll hear people say, oh, take a oatmeal bath because it's great. It has a soothing quality to it. So a colloidal oatmeal bath, you can buy these Whole Foods or really anywhere. So they have a soothing quality. So maybe you have skin irritation, inflammation. Maybe you have a rash. These are going to be really wonderful. Your little oatmeal colloidal baths. So let's say you have a foot bath and you want to put a colloidal oatmeal foot bath that's nice and soothing, and you want to just do something a little more upscale for your clients. Probably have to add a little. Oatmeal shampoo. That's so good. Aw. I used to do oatmeal packs on my face. I'd make a paste out of oatmeal, and I just loved it. So one last thing I want to say to y'all is that a lot of times, all of you probably online or someone you love has always wondered if hair dyes are cancer causing. Okay. Aw. That's too bad, Mary Helen. So progressive dyes, I'm going to let y'all just jot this down real quick, and then we'll just talk for a second. Okay, so basically, those of you, first of all, anyone getting their eyelashes and eyebrows tinted, I don't care who you are, what course you are, your family, everyone should know that any salon hair color that goes on your hair cannot go on your brows and your lashes. To do so can cause blindness. And that's a lot of what it is. There's a lot of so much reading that really needs to be investigated for people to really get an accurate picture of, is it a problem or is it not a problem? But progressive dyes, often known as PPDs, aniline derivatives, under the law, they were made of a coal tar substance. Coal tar hair dyes that don't need FDA approval, unlike color additives in general, but hair dyes from plant or mineral sources do. So the crazy thing about this to me is it's very inconclusive, and it's mind-boggling when you do a lot of reading about these different agents that are put on the hair. I do know over the years that coal tar substance was on your state board, and we still put in our notes that a coal tar substance is our professional hair colors, both store-bought and salon professional. Although my reading over the time has been, they've been eliminating this word coal tar substance because it's a real sticky, harsh chemical that is added to make the hair color stay. But you'll see down here on the bottom that FDA does require that the hair dyes from plants and mineral sources, that they are FDA approved. But yet these coal tar substances here, they're saying, okay, as long as you label the box, that the caution labels, that it's okay, we're going to approve, we're going to let you get by with that. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell, and I apologize, I wish I knew a whole lot more. Let me hold on. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me either, Sam. I attached an article for all of you to read for your assignment, and it's straight from the FDA's page, and it looks like this. Y'all will get it in your email. I had it sent. And then another one. Oh, I forgot to tell you what. Oh, I'm so sorry. There's one more, and it's called, I know I'm talking crazy right now. I apologize. I'm hopping all over the place. Did I tell y'all? Here we go. I must have missed this one. A BHA is a beta hydroxy acid. So there's AHA and BHA. So AHA is going to be stronger. It's going to exfoliate more. But a BHA, another term for it really is salicylic acid. So people who like use retinol, retin A, stuff like that, those are great exfoliants that are removing that top dead skin cell surface. But salicylic acid is going to be in nail care ingredients and cosmetics, and skincare cosmetic and ingredients. But it's another word for salicylic acid. So what I did is I attached two articles for y'all to read to have a little understanding, and it's very unclear. The other article looks like this. It's your beta hydroxy acids, for you to just do some reading. But these, basically, from my understanding, and there's a lot more leg work to go, because I think, you never know if we're being told that we should eat something. It's just like that Chex Mix that people love, party mix. It was advertised all over the U.S. news not long ago that it contains a chemical in that food that is used in the soles of tennis shoes, sneakers. And so apparently all of Europe bans Chex Mix and you can't buy it. Now, whether or not that's still true today, or if there's some people still getting it and selling it, I don't know. So we really don't know what we ingest in our bodies and what we apply to our scalp that could soak in and that could be harmful. Every day is pretty much a risk. Just like lipsticks that are matte, they have that coal tar substance in them. Those are called color additives. And those color additives, we really don't know if we're licking that lipstick every day and ingesting something we shouldn't. But from my reading, it is such a minimal amount when they test on rats or mice. It's showing, yes, some cancerous things, but when they test on humans, it's a more minimal amount that's put on there, and they're finding no evidence that it's carcinogenic on us. So it's so if you are approached with those questions, the FDA is saying that, okay, it's not an FDA approved product, or it is an FDA approved product, as long as you put on the label that it requires a patch test. So the patch test, as most of you have learned in hair coloring, which we haven't made it through that chapter yet, or for some of you, a patch test is also called a predisposition test, and it's also called a skin test. Those patch tests is where you apply the product, the hair color, behind the back of the earlobe or the inner fold of the elbow. You don't cover it up. You leave it like that for 24 to 48 hours. If there's like a positive reaction of red and swelling or something like that, then you are supposedly not a candidate to apply or to receive that treatment or to give your client that. So many people are not taking these precautions because there are so few clients having these adverse reactions to the product. So, but they're still not addressing the fact that does it lead to can it cause cancer, or is it carcinogenic? Is it something that is harmful for us long term? So it's just a decision, I think, at this point, that each one of you have to do some deep reading, maybe have some articles printed for that client who walks in, who is like, okay, what is in this alpha hydroxy acid? What is salicylic acid? What is aniline derivative? What is a progressive dye? What is coal tar substance? Some of these clients are going to want to know what hair color you use and what ingredients are in there. I have a very dear friend. Every single thing that she gets into extreme depth, and I just want to hide because I'm just not educated. I'm just not all of these ingredient lists are just, they go on and on and on forever and ever and ever, and I just can't keep up. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. I need to keep up, but you might want, as a suggestion for some of you who are interested in it, you're worried about it, take each product that you decide to offer in the salon. And let's say you're a salon owner and you're going to run the salon having all three cosmetologists and everyone in that salon. If you're going to have all types of industry related people, then you're going to be ordering those products, and you might be the one that has to deal with the client saying, hey, what's in this product and is it good for me? So it's a slippery slope because it takes a lot of investigation, and I don't think people realize that we don't have all the answers. So you might want to research all of the ingredients, make a little list, and then just hand out a piece of paper that shows all that. So yeah, everything's poison. If food doesn't have any bug damage, doesn't make you think bugs won't eat, or should I? Yeah. Yeah. So we're all in this thing together, and who knows how harmful some of the things that we are, applying to our skin, and everybody has the right to be concerned with what they're going to the oatmeal good for eczema. Fantastic. So anyway, your assignment is, I've got to go teach my hair cutting, but your assignment is to read these articles and type or handwrite a few of the things that you got that you liked from the articles, a half page if you're typing, full page if you're writing, and send that in. So that's your assignment. Now I'll try to get the next two assignments out to you at the next segment for the rest of the day, but I've got to get in there. I've got a new haircut that I'm doing. Joanna has not returned to the school just yet. So again, we're fired up for the day and ready to go. I'm going to put this on mute to make sure that we get everyone's name and everyone is accounted for on the. So I'm going to leave this up for a minute. We'll continue with more of this. Hope that you enjoyed a little bit of it. I know it's maybe it's not like part of your practical work, but again, this is distance learning is theory. Y'all have a great morning, and Sherry will see you at 12. Just go ahead and give me another roll call real quick, and I'm gonna put you on mute.